Europe in the flames of a revolution, 1796. In the year 1796, at the height of the French Revolutionary Wars, a young French general was entrusted with the command of a ragged, exhausted army in northern Italy. That man was Napoleon Bonaparte, and this was his very first independent command. Many expected him to fail, but within just 1 month, through extraordinary confidence, daring, and relentless energy, he achieved a brilliant string of victories in his first campaign. One triumph followed another as Napoleon reshaped the war in Europe, won glory for the young French Republic, and began to forge a legend that would echo through the centuries. This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte's first campaign, at the dawn of a new age in European history, a continent in turmoil. In 1792, Europe was plunged into conflict by the waves of revolution spreading from France. At first, it seemed certain that this fragile new republic would soon be crushed by its powerful neighbors. But France held firm, driven by patriotic fervor, mass mobilization, and her military tradition. By 1795, France had occupied the Low Countries, the Netherlands, while Prussia and Spain had withdrawn from the war. Still, the Republic faced a formidable coalition of enemies: the Austrian Empire, the Kingdom of Piedmont-Sardinia, Naples, and Great Britain, as well as a royalist counter-revolution in western France. In Paris, the most extreme revolutionaries had themselves been toppled and guillotined, just as they had done to so many others. Power now rested in the hands of the Directory, a 5-man committee that promised moderation, but quickly earned a reputation for corruption and inefficiency. The Grand Offensive of 1796. Despite these troubles, the Directory planned a major military offensive for 1796, designed to knock Austria out of the war once and for all. 2 main offensives were to strike along the Rhine, one under General Jourdan, another under General Moray. A third effort, far less promising, would take place in northern Italy. The army of Italy was the poorest of France's armies, starved for funds, supplies, and reinforcements. Its soldiers were hungry, unpaid, and poorly equipped. Some lacked even shoes or muskets, but their fate was about to change. Napoleon takes command. On March 2nd, 1796, the Directory appointed a new commander for the Army of Italy, one of France's youngest generals, Napoleon Bonaparte. On March 25th, Napoleon arrived at army headquarters in Nice. He was only 26 years old. 2 years earlier, he had directed French artillery to victory at the siege of Toulon, but his career since then had been a mix of fortune and failure. He had spent time in prison when his political patrons fell from power, refused to fight in the Royalist War in the Vendée, and endured months of unemployment in Paris. Then came a sudden turn of fate. On 13 Vendémiaire, a royalist mob threatened to storm the government in Paris. Napoleon, the nearest available general, was ordered to defend it. He did so with brutal efficiency, using artillery to scatter the rebels within hours. The victory earned him fame as the savior of the Republic. The grateful Directory promoted him to General of Division and gave him command of the Army of Italy. Just 2 days before departing for the front, he married his beloved Josephine de Beauharnais and left Paris to begin his destiny. The skeptics. When Napoleon arrived in Italy, many veteran officers saw him as an untested political appointee. Men like Serivrier, Orgeron, and Messina, all seasoned commanders, had every reason to doubt this pale, thin Corsican newcomer. Messina himself later recalled, his small size and frail face did not favor him much, but once he put on his general's hat, he seemed to grow 2 feet taller, reforming the army.
What impressed everyone most was Napoleon's tireless energy. He immediately began inspecting his troops, supplies, and artillery, enforcing discipline and disbanding weak units. By his side were men who would later become legends: Junot, Marmont, and Joachim Murat, young, daring officers who shared his ambition. His most indispensable aide was General Berthier, his chief of staff, who reorganized the army's supply system and scoured southern France for food, horses, and transport. Day by day, conditions improved.
Victory
Yet Napoleon knew that only victory could truly restore the army's spirit. He told his soldiers, "You are hungry and poorly clothed. The government owes you much, but can give you little. I will lead you into the fertile plains of Italy. There you shall find honor and abundance." The words struck like fire among the ranks. The army of Italy was ready to march, and Europe was about to witness the rise of a military genius.